Follow me on this one. I know this kind of sounds a little stupid. Seasonal affective disorder. Yeah, why do you feel worse during the winter months? And especially if you're in like a place like northern Alberta like me, where it's dark from about 9 o'clock in the morning and then the sun starts to go down. Like at the time that I'm recording this, it's like 4:30 in the afternoon and it is just about pitch black. Like the sun is, for all intents and purposes, completely down, but it's dark, and the streetlights have been on for the better part of an hour at this point, and it's depressing. See the sun probably for a couple of minutes every once in a while, maybe 3-4 times a week. So I always thought that maybe this was kind of one of those kind of just harebrained schemes that were out there, but it's real. It's real. And the lighting in my room, it's pretty harsh, and I'd like to work on it a little bit better, but I don't really know what I'm doing. But I got these, like, they're called happy lights, and I just thought that they were the best for being just little light boxes. I got a couple of them here, and it's to help with the fact that I live in a dark, dank corner of the world and just trying to add a little bit more light. But again, like the flip side of that, the other 6 months out of the year from May to October, or at least the end of October, we get a fair amount of sunlight, and it's really nice from about 5 o'clock in the morning until about 11 o'clock at night. The sun is out, and it's at least navigationally possible during those hours for the most part. But that 6 month swing, it's a bit of a hill to climb over. So let's get into the seasonal affective disorder, or SAD to its friends, as the days continue to get shorter and colder until December 24th, which we're still not that far away from, I guess, because we're into December, which is bizarre to me. I can't believe how quickly this year went by, but them are the breaks. Days continue to get shorter and colder. It is likely that you or someone you know has started to experience seasonal mood changes. Don't let it affect you too badly, okay? Because at least you know what's afflicting you now. There's at least a name to something. You can go down that wormhole of self-treatment. Symptoms such as a loss of energy, a dip in mood. What is this? Just symptoms of the new variant of the coof. A dip in mood, lack of interest, or trouble focusing can often be attributed to a lack of daylight we take in. And that's another reason why I talk about vitamin D a whole heck of a lot on the channel. Mostly because the best way that you can get it is from the sun. And when you start to lose that natural resource, you have to either supplement properly or get the little, happy lights as well. Otherwise, your mood's going to be a little bit different. When these symptoms get too disruptive, they can be indicative of a mood disorder called seasonal affective disorder. Over 10 million Americans, and probably that same amount of Canadians, not even proportionally, probably just that many, have SAD, which is a type of depression that affects people during the fall and winter months when access to light is limited. But how does light play such a significant role in moderating mental and cognitive health? Well, Lily Yan, an associate professor in the University State, I read that completely backwards. I guess my lights are a little bit too bright. Michigan State University, MSU, yes, go Spartans, psychology department, and director of Light, Emotion, and Cognition Lab. That sounds like a made-up place. Explains how light exposure affects our mood, memory, and motivation. And here's something new. We're going to read an interaction, a different interview between two people. So, first of all, what is seasonal affective disorder? Words. What are some associated symptoms? SAD is a type of major depression that is characterized by any seasonal pattern of depressive symptoms for at least 2 years in a row. So you need to show a pattern. Okay. Though many of us may not yet meet the exact diagnostic criteria for major depression during the winter. I guess that's something to strive towards. We still may experience a lighter form of these symptoms, often referred to as the winter blues. Oh, they peak around February when you're in the doldrums of winter and you don't have Christmas to look towards. Most people who experience this type of depression don't necessarily feel sad, but instead deal with the energy crisis that leads, not like, lights don't come on, but energy, like feeling sluggish and slow, that leaves them feeling tired all the time, withdrawn from social activities. Hey, wait a minute, I've been experiencing that for 31 years. Oh, no, wait a minute. Unable to sleep well. No, that's cool. And unable to concentrate or focus. What do you start Oh, when did you start studying this topic and how do you conduct your research? That's very interesting. Hopefully it's not somebody who prays over crystals, but I'm sure she's a nice lass. My previous research focused on understanding our circadian rhythm, and how circadian rhythms are influenced by environmental lighting conditions. Since started work at MSU in 2008, began exploring how light affects emotions and cognitions. In 2012, received a grant from the NIMH, National Institute of Mental Health, to start the research on light, emotion, and cognition. All right. So how does light affect the mechanics of our brains, underlying mood and cognition? The dominant theory in the field is that light affects the circadian rhythm by training our brain's internal clock to keep it synchronized with our environment. However, the circadian rhythm can be interrupted by changes in the light cycle that cause cognitive and emotional issues such as irregular sleep patterns and moodiness. In addition to regulating circadian rhythms, prior research has demonstrated that seasonal lighting conditions can influence the amount of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine present in the brain, meaning that in the summer months, your brain is actually storing more of the chemicals that make you feel happy, alert, and motivated. Oh, that would explain a lot. When we transition to dark, cloudy seasons from a bright, sunny season, there are changes happening in the brain at an anatomic level. The result is one study, which included over 400 human subjects, demonstrated that the hippocampus, the part of our brain that controls many of the cognitive functions, such as learning and remembering, is actually physically smaller during the winter months based on the seasons. Interesting. How does research from rodents inform larger questions about human emotion and cognitive function? Yeah, a lot of experiments are conducted on rats because their brains they share a lot of pathways and a lot of biology with the humans as well. So it's not quite one-to-one, but it's as close as you're going to get. When working with diurnal rodents, we find a lot of the behavior and neurobiological responses in light conditions are consistent with those of humans. When conducting this research, we only change one factor at a time, which is the amount of light or light intensity the rodents receive during the day. We found that when limiting their daytime light exposure, it results in many behavioral changes. For example, the rodents struggle to feel pleasure and or remember things. Interesting. Rodents generally like sweet tasting things, but after a few weeks in the winter dim conditions, they stop caring about eating things that are sweet and just go for whatever is easily available. Interesting. But in regular condition with more light, they get excited about sweet tasting treats and try to get them. Additionally, we see a lower sex drive in males housed in dim light conditions. Additionally, we see animals housed in dim light also have lower levels of serotonin and dopamine in their brain stored as compared to those kept in bright lights. And results help establish diurnal rodents as a viable model to study the effects of light on the brain and the relevant SAD in humans. Not just SAD humans, but seasonal affective disorder humans. Also conducted research to test the impact of daytime light exposure on rodent spatial learning and memory. When navigating a maze, the rodents housed in a dim light condition struggled to remember the course, but animals in a bright light condition were able to complete the maze. Also found the dim lighting conditions, there were fewer dendritic spines, which allow neurons to receive information, connecting neurons together with the hippocampus. This may also explain why it's harder to process and store information when they are exposed to less daylight. Interesting. Further research has shown that neuropeptides, or a type of neurotransmitters called orexin, plays a role in regulating light-dependent changes in learning and memory. In a recent study, we gave rodents housed in a winter light condition this neuropeptide every day in a row for 5 days and found their ability to learn and retain new information improved significantly. While on the flip side, we gave rodents summer light conditions to a treatment that blocked their ability to receive orexin. The rodents were impaired in their cognitive abilities. These point to orexin as an important neurotransmitter in mediating the effects of lighting conditions. Cool. What are some ways to lessen SAD-like symptoms during the winter time? If you're looking to get a diagnosis or help with managing a case of SAD, no, I just want just little helpers, just little tips. However, if you're looking to improve your energy or motivation levels during the winter months, definitely recommend recommend spending more time outside, even if it's cold and it sucks. Just bundle up a little bit. Even though the cold weather can make it difficult, outdoor lighting is still way brighter than indoor lighting. Yes, especially during the middle of the day, even on a cloudy day or overcast. You could also look into a light box therapy made for indoor lighting, even brighter. Yeah, exactly. In the future, I hope to better understand the mechanisms underlying the effects of light on mood and cognition that will lead to development of new strategies for treating SAD, as well as other types of depressive disorders and cognitive impairments. Until then, light will remain one of the most effective treatments for SAD and winter blues. And again, I'd also add a little caveat to that, because when you get the sun, you also get vitamin D naturally, of course, that way. And the best way to overcome that, if you find yourself in literally the deepest, darkest parts of Alberta or northern Canada or even northern United States, you can always just add vitamin D. Or also, like these little outdoor vitamin D lamps or whatever, those type of lights, they aren't that expensive. So if you find yourself being excessively mopey after the holidays, because I just love Christmas because it's something to look forward to at the end of the year, and it's just always been my favorite holiday. Probably always will be, but yeah, especially around like January, late January, February, especially when it gets bitterly cold up here, it just seems like summer is years off. I found that the addition of the little lights help, especially last year, especially when it was like 50 below for like a week. So the addition of those definitely helped, and it just added a little bit of a challenge, and I'm a highly competitive person anyways, so just those little neural tricks, and as well as just getting light every day, going outside every single day and experiencing the wonders of even just the bitter cold or just the unnecessary darkness. And even in the 10 minutes that we've been talking here, it's gotten even darker, and it's only a quarter to 5. Only 5 more months, guys. But with that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.